The news you won't find in the mainstream media, you'll find it right here on the Israel Brief with me, Rolene Marks, brought to you, as always, by Lay of the Land. So let's take a look at those top stories, and we begin with all the balagan, as we call it, in the Knesset. As you know, Israel went to elections just several weeks ago. The winning party was the Likud party. Yesterday, the 25th Knesset was sworn in. Now, no coalition has been finalized. Netanyahu was tapped by President Herzog with the first job of forming a coalition, and he has until the 6th of December to do this. If he fails to form a coalition, it will be handed to another party leader to have a go. So here is what we know at the moment. Yesterday, during the swearing-in ceremony, President Herzog cautioned against divisive discourse, saying that now is the time to work for the citizens of Israel. Some very strong words there from the president. Meanwhile, today, Likud chairperson and Prime Minister-to-be Benjamin Netanyahu met with the Otzma Yehudi's Bezalel Smotrich and said to him that he will not be getting the defense ministry. Smotrich has been egging for the defense ministry as part of his negotiation tactics. The chairman of the Likud, Netanyahu, warned him that this is largely due to American pressure. Now, the US have said that they are unlikely to cooperate with some of the more right-wing leaders in key positions like defense and public security, and cautioned Israel against putting far-right leaders from Otzma Yehudi in these key portfolios. Smotrich was reported to be furious, and as a result, meetings between Likud and the Otzma Yehudi, or National Religious Party, have been cancelled. Meanwhile, some interesting maneuverings earlier today. It was reported that the Likud were meeting with National Unity and Yesh Atid, that is Benny Gantz's party, as well as Prime Minister Lapid's party, and no sooner had news broke that they were meeting, a Likud spokesperson was very quick to say, we are not talking about a national unity government. So while they are speaking, because if you read between the lines, they said not national unity government, but did not deny that meetings were taking place. This is where we are at the moment. So the horse trading continues, but don't worry, you'll get your latest updates right here on the Israel Brief. An Israeli-owned tanker was hit by a bomb that was attached to a drone. This is reported to have happened last night off the coast of Oman. Now, the UK Maritime Trade Operation, which monitors and responds to incidents in those waters, said they are aware of the incident and are investigating. Nobody has claimed responsibility for it yet, but of course suspicion immediately falls towards Iran, because Iran has claimed responsibility for these types of attacks in the past. And if there are any updates, you will be sure to get them right here. Yesterday, in his final address to the Knesset, Prime Minister Lapid addressed the proposed investigations against the IDF by the Department of Justice in the United States as FBI. The Department of Justice warned that they'll be opening investigations into circumstances surrounding the death of Al Jazeera reporter Shirin Abu Akleh. Now, Israel has conducted our own investigations. These are operational investigations carried out by the IDF, where it was determined that why it is indeterminable to know conclusively who was responsible for firing the fatal bullet, there is a probability that it could have come from the IDF. This apparently is not good enough for certain factions in the United States, and they've demanded that the FBI investigate. Prime Minister Lapid said that we will not be allowing our soldiers to be investigated by the FBI or any foreign countries, and that our soldiers will not be abandoned for investigations. He also went on to say that Israel has strongly objected and made it very, very well known to the Biden administration. And our last story is a follow-up on one we were speaking about yesterday, and this is ties between Israel and Ukraine. Well, yesterday, Israel's foreign ministry summoned the Ukrainian ambassador to express our disappointment at Ukraine's recent voting at the United Nations in favor of a resolution that could see Israel taken to the International Court of Justice in The Hague. Now, the Ukrainian ambassador is reported to have been furious, saying they can say what they want. He also lambasted Israel for putting a cap on the amount of Ukrainians being allowed to enter the country, saying that Kyiv sees this as an unfriendly act. Now, this comes as Ukraine continuously puts pressure on Israel to supply the country with air defense systems. And in the interest of balance, it must be noted that there are Ukrainian officials who have objected very strongly to Ukraine's vote at the United Nations, saying that Ukraine needs Israel as an ally, especially as ties grow stronger between Iran and Russia. So this is going to be an interesting story to watch. It's not the first time Ukraine's ambassador in Israel has been or has used a quite aggressive language, but of course we'll be bringing you those top stories right here. And this brings me to the end of today's edition of the Israel Brief. Don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. Also, don't forget to join our growing Facebook community at Lottle's site. Like us, follow us, and please don't forget to share our content. If you are watching us on YouTube right now, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red subscribe button, and invite your friends to as well and share our content. And we're on Twitter at layoftheland5. That's layoftheland5. And I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief with your top stories. Don't forget to join me tomorrow for your latest headlines.